Hello, Awesome Soul here. And before we start the video today, I would like to quickly ask for some feedback on the channel. So, if you look at the top right of your screen right now, there will be a little pop-up that will take you to a poll. It is in the video. It takes all of 10 seconds. So if you could quickly fill that out, that would be greatly appreciated. Are you clicking on it? Maybe? Yes? I don't really know. I can't quite see you. But if you did, thank you very much. With that out of the way, now we can actually get into the video. So, as I'm sure a fair few of you are already aware of, as this news has been out for a little while, Robocraft is officially entering full release on Thursday, August the 24th. So yes, that is this week and in only a few days. Now, I have seen this misconception floating around a little while, and that is that some people are under the impression that Robocraft is actually in full release, and other people are very confused as to when the game has gone into alpha, when it was in beta, etc. Because a while back, I actually remember going onto the Reddit one time, and this was back when it was still in alpha, and they were saying, wow, I haven't really been playing the game for quite a while, what's changed, what's new? I remember playing back in beta, and everybody pointed out that the game, at that point, was not even in beta. It's had a really long alpha stage for some reason, and then a fairly short beta stage, and now here we are on the cusp of full release. Another misconception that's floating around out there, and a pretty important one that needs to be squashed, is the fact that some people seem to think that full release means that there's going to be no more content for Robocraft. That is completely and utterly false. What going into full release means for Robocraft is that there are going to be no more mechanical overhauls to the game. For example, at one point, megabots were added into the game, and then megabots were removed from the game, and now we've gotten this brand new boost system added into it. Those kind of things are huge mechanical overhauls to the way the game is played. But what we will be seeing from now on are simply new maps, new game modes, expand upon the current features we have, like more custom game options, new parts, new weapons, new movement, etc. So yes, do not fear, this is not the end for Robocraft. Many updates will be continuing on in the future. But quite possibly the best part about going into full release are the alpha tester and beta tester rewards. So on the day of the update, the 4 pilot seats you see before you will be available to you depending on when you started your Robocraft journey. If you made your account in 2017 before the full release, you will unlock the Cray pilot seat, which is the white supercomputer. On top of that, you will also get 6 free Protonium crates. If you made your account in 2016, you will get the Cray pilot seat and the Gene pilot seat, which is the red supercomputer. Fun fact, this model was actually never implemented into the game. It was implemented as a bit of concept art, but never actually made it into the game. Though it could have been in the game files somewhere, but I'm just not aware of that. On top of this, you will gain 12 Protonium crates instead of the normal 6. If you made your account way back in 2015, you will unlock Cray, Gene, and the Mega pilot seat. The supercomputer piloting it is actually Taihan, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It was always a very weird spelling. But regardless, this one, albeit a little bit modified, was actually in the game at one point. As you guessed it, the Mega pilot seat, for those that wanted to make an actual megabot instead of just a regular bot. I kind of forgot to mention, if you don't know, the way it worked is you had to actually make a core in your robot, and you had to install one of these pilot seats. But the original pilot seat is unlocked to you if you have made your account way back in 2014. So you will gain everything you see on the screen before you. Cray, Gene, the Mega seat, and the Retro pilot seat. On top of that, you will gain 24 Protonium crates. Another fun fact, the Retro pilot seat was not a supercomputer like the other 3. This was actually a human pilot, which sort of made sense when elimination mode was really the only thing. Basically, you had no respawns. But as the game progressed, and you actually were able to respawn, didn't really make that much sense having a human player constantly regenerating. Or if you died, you would just get another human to take your place. A little grim, if you ask me, and I'm sure that's why they were replaced with the supercomputers. Another thing I should mention, for those that are actually familiar with all of the layouts of these seats, you will notice, if you are very careful and looking at the image, that underneath they only have one mounting point, which was actually confirmed a little bit later on, but I'll cover that real quick once we get to it. So I do believe the original pilot seat had 2 connection points. The Mega seat had 5, Cray's pilot seat also had 5. Actually, no, it had 7, because it had the 2 on the side as well. And then with Gene's seat never being in the game, I can only speculate that it would have 7 connection points as well, based on its shape. Also, another thing to take into account is with the new revamped cosmetic system that we've talked about before, you most likely will not be able to forge these. So that means you're going to get 1, and that's it. No word on if you'll get a stack of 100, or if you just simply get the single seat. Hopefully you get a lot more. But the other thing is that the only way to actually get these is, as I previously discussed, you will not be able to buy these or get these from crates in the game at all. So if for some odd reason you have yet to make a Robocraft account and you just enjoy watching my videos without actually playing the game, then now more than ever would be a good idea to actually make that account. Now, here's something that is a little bit odd from the promotional artwork they've shown off. It could be nothing, and it probably is, but I figured I would point it out. So if you see in this promotional image here, the mech to the right of the frame, not the far one in the background that you can barely see, but the one that's still somewhat close to the frame. If you'll take a look at the ion on its right side, which from our perspective would be on the left side of the picture, we can see that the base of it and the actual gun itself are painted 2 different colors. The base is painted light blue, and the top is painted white. Now this could just be simply because this isn't actually in-game. This is most likely made in some sort of 3D modeling manipulator tool, and perhaps the ions are separated into different parts, and they just forgot to paint one side of them. That's probably what it is. But there could be the microscopic chance of the ability to paint different spots on one single part, i.e. they would have 2 color modes. I highly doubt that, but hey, figured I'd point this out. From there, I will go ahead and show off some of the things that Rick has been talking about on Twitter. When asked what the name of the original pilot was, as it was just simply named the Retro Pilot Seat, Rick responds with, "I don't think he had a name originally. Let's just call him Spencer." I do remember in one of the live streams though, I think it was brought up that he had a different name, although that could have just been unofficial as well. I don't know how official this is. Again though, I figured I'd bring it up for those who are interested. Another thing, for those who've been around a while, you will remember that the 4 characters I showed off are not all of the pilots. At one point, we actually had a bunny pilot, and there are a fair amount of people that definitely want this thing back in the game, so Rick simply responds with, "Petition to Mark and get the bunny resurrected." I personally would be all for this. Or do you guys think this is more of a seasonal thing, as it was just a temporary replacement for Easter? Anyways, as we see here, this is double confirmation that the cosmetic versions of the pilot seats have only one attachment point. Another thing, and a very important thing, is the fact that all of the cosmetic pilot seats can indeed be recolored. You cannot actually color the pilots, you're just simply coloring the seats. So Gene is going to be remaining red, you just simply change the color of their seat. Cray will remain white, and again, you just simply change the color of the seat, and so on and so forth. But yes, that's definitely good news right there. I was kind of under the impression that we wouldn't be able to paint them, just because they were colored yellow in the promotional image, and as some of you know, the whole yellow coloration was also the S rank on certain parts. So I figured that's what kind of they were going for, back when, you know, tiers and S rank and all that stuff was a thing. Anyways, somebody is asking for a FPS boost, as when they're recording, they get some rather choppy frames. I myself have also noticed this. In response to this, Rick says, "We have gotten some optimizations coming in the next few weeks. We will trickle feed them into the game." From that, I can assume it's not all going to be in one update, i.e. the next one, but they're going to be coming slowly and over time. And the last of the tweets we have is somebody asking if we will ever get the old textures for the electroplates back. Because at one point they did have sort of the TX texture with all the sort of cybery looking wires going through there. On top of that, they also had a glow color underneath on the backside. Rick's response to this is, we compressed them into only 2 materials rather than the old 3. This is one less draw call per electroplate. It's all about saving the FPS, and obviously making the game less laggy. So if that's the case, then I'm all for it. Honestly, you don't really look at the backside of your electroplates much anyway. It would kind of be nice, but hey, it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, something very important before we go. If you've been paying attention to my subscriber count lately, you will notice that I am very close to hitting the 10,000 mark. So big thanks to all of you guys. But what I would like to ask is, what kind of other things would you like to see on the channel? As I really would like to branch out and try different things. But as you saw with the poll you hopefully took at the beginning of the video, I'm trying to gauge why exactly you're here. Are you here just for Robocraft, or are you here for me personally? I.e., would you click a video from me that is not Robocraft content? The Oracle Falls video has actually done pretty well, but that could also just simply be because a fair few amount of people have been keeping up with it in the Robocraft community simply because Rosefall is behind it. I'm not necessarily looking for single games that you want me to play. I'm more so looking for what kind of genres and general themes you would like to see promoted on the channel. And while you're looking through the comments, if you see one that you agree with, give it a thumbs up. That way I'll know which ideas have a lot of backing behind them and a lot of support from the community. Anyways guys, I thank you for the few that usually stick around to the very end of the videos. So once again, thank you very much. I of course have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.